Hello everyone, Nordlander here. Today I'm going to show you how I fixed my Renogy 100 amp hour LiPO Bluetooth battery. So these are the batteries that we're talking about. I do have several of these in my rig, and generally they performed very well for me. I did acquire a couple of them in a private sale, and I found that one of those batteries, the Bluetooth function, didn't work. I read on the DC Home forum community that some folks have had a similar problem. So I figured, what do I have to lose? It's not covered under warranty. I thought I would tap into the battery and see if I can figure out what's going on. Of course, very important, before I even got started, I used a moderate load to discharge the battery as low as I could safely get it. The first thing I did was I used a utility knife to access these little ports at the top of the battery. They came out very easily. They're secured with just a few dabs of some kind of hard glue. Under one of the covers is a connector to something on the BMS, unknown to me, and under the other cover is the Bluetooth transceiver. You can see it in the photo here, wrapped in a bit of heat shrink tubing. I suppose the first thing to check here would be looking at the connector, which is secured with a little bit of silicone or something, but unfortunately that wasn't my problem, so I had to dig deeper. I'll show you here after the fact how I was able to get the top off the battery using a utility knife with a heavy-duty blade pointed almost vertically. I was able to work my way around the perimeter and break the brittle glue seam that holds it in place, being careful not to go too far and cut into the corners. Now this is where it really got interesting. What I found is that the battery cells were sitting on an incline, which didn't really make sense to me, but I really wasn't sure whether it was intentional or not without taking the cells out of the bottom case. Once I was able to get the cell pack out of the battery box, it became evident to me that when manufactured, it was placed flat in the box and about 1.5 inches of potting compound was poured around the perimeter. It seems likely that at some point this battery was dropped. It broke free from the potting compound and the cell pack was sitting up on a slant. So next I started looking closely at the cabling, and in particular the wires that go from the Bluetooth module to the BMS. And what I found is that the ribbon cable connecting the Bluetooth module was badly damaged. It is at most, I think, 28 gauge wire and quite delicate. I then repaired the cable by soldering in some 24 gauge telco wire, extending the length a bit so that the top could come off without putting undue strain on the cable. And then I added a bunch more zip ties to prevent it from moving around too much if the batteries jostled. At this point, it was the moment of truth, so I had to look at the DC Home app on my phone, and what do you know, it worked. The battery showed up. I found it difficult to get the cells back into the battery box due to the broken pieces of foam rubber, so I opted to hold them together with a band of electrical tape. I added some silicone adhesive to the case, and I used a nylon strap to help me lower the cells back into the box. To make it easier to get into this guy in the future, I opted to use screws instead of glue to put it back together. And I measured carefully and paid close attention to the screw placement to avoid any interference. Well, I will say that I really do like Renogy's products. It's been a good company to work with for me. The delivery's been quick when I order from their website. Customer support has been great. Unfortunately, I had a couple of warranty issues, but they were right on top of that and honored their warranties. These batteries are priced really competitively, especially when they go on sale. It's hard to beat. There have been a few members on the DC Home app that have complained about Bluetooth issues. Who knows, maybe some of them are related to the wire harness inside being a little undersized. Maybe they get knocked around a little bit too much. Hard to say. But hopefully this gave you some food for thought. If you liked the video, found it helpful, please give me a like and maybe subscribe to my channel. I'll be posting some more stuff in the future.